Afternoon, everyone. I love the end of that intro. You cannot beat the roar of a lion echoing through the African night. Welcome, everyone, to the Africam show. My name's Kelly. I'm going to be with you for the next 5 minutes, having a look to see what's happening on the fabulous cameras today. Let's see who we have got joining us. Jack DeBall, good morning from Virginia. Good afternoon from South Africa, Jack DeBall. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Mr. H, UAE 87. Today you have fruit juice. Excellent choice, Mr. H, UAE 87. I've got a tepid bottle of water with me today. As always, living it up, living the life. But you are very welcome, as is your fruit juice. Patricia Wolf, hello all. Hello to you, Patricia Wolf. Jean Gale, hello, good morning, Kelly, near Seattle with coffee and blueberry pancakes. Jean Gale, blueberry pancakes. Excellent shout. Look at these two boys here. It looks like this one on the left that's just going behind has only got one tusk there. Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. It is often damage as opposed to genetic. Not impossible, but these boys are sharing this water beautifully here this afternoon. Who else do? Oh, I was lamenting over Jean Gale's pancakes. Excellent choice, blueberry pancakes. Absolutely delicious. I accidentally picked up a unintended warm, fresh baked loaf of bread earlier today. I walked past the shop, I smelt it, I went in and I came out with it. Complete accident. Can't beat nice, crusty, warm, fresh baked bread. Jean Powers, hi everyone. Hi, Jan Powers. Sorry, Jan Powers, I said Jean. Thank you very much for joining us. Karu, hello Karu, I hope you are well. Hi, you've got milk again. Good choice. So Mr. One Task is departing to the right over there. Dean, DNC, Dia, NC, good morning. You've got your dog by your side and a hot cup of coffee. Looking forward to the show. That is an excellent combination of things, in my opinion. In fact, could there be a better combination of things? I've got a tepid bottle of water and a cat with me today, just to make it just to keep it fresh. Excellent choice with your coffee and your dog. This is a beautiful big male elephant. So these males, they will often team up. We do frequently see male elephants, if not in a tight-knit group, they will often associate with each other. I remember when I was working up in Madikwe, there was quite a lot of big open areas close to the lodge where I was at, and we would often see into the distance, and you would often see maybe 3 or 4 big bulls, but they would be maybe 80 to 100 meters apart, sort of dotted. They weren't necessarily following each other. No, probably more than that even, maybe 200, 250 meters apart. So everyone knew everyone was present, even if they weren't sort of technically grouped together, but they would all know each other. They would have associated with each other. So while they don't have those tight herd structures that females and calves have, they will hang out together, so to speak. This boy has had his drink and now he's having a nice dust as he goes on about his day. Nice big mature bulls here. So please do remember, we are live and interactive. We'd love to hear from you. Please send through your comments, your thoughts, your proposed conversation topics. I love hearing them all, and they're an incredibly important addition to these shows. April Al, good morning, everyone from sunny Connecticut. You've got your warm mixed berry. Oh, everyone's warm mixed berry muffins and raspberry iced tea. Oh, that sounds delicious. Blueberry pancakes, warm mixed berry muffins. Wow, you're all making me very jealous. But I have got some nice fresh baked crusty bread at home. I've already had some of it. A little bit too much butter on it, but oh, you can't beat it. Fresh from the oven smell. Okay. I've been looking forward to this all day, and look at these little guys. They're outside now. This is the first time I've seen these little okies outside. Amberco, Ambercio, waving hello with coffee and thanks. And Ambercio, Amberco, are you watching these little baby cheetahs have a stretch as well? I do hope so. Casper's third ghost, hello. Uh, all late with hot coffee. Welcome with your hot coffee. This is adorable. Look how, isn't it funny how there's three all sort of spooning each other and then one facing. Is that cheetah got hiccups? Oh no, maybe not. Maybe it was just having a little shake there. I thought I was going to be seeing a cheetah with hiccups for the first time there, but I'm not 100% convinced. It just goes to show though how comfortable this mummy cheetah must be feeling, this fabulous Tammy, to have her little ones outside like this. I'm not entirely sure sort of what area of the enclosure this is. I assume this is the sort of edge of her inside area that we can see on the left-hand side of the shot. But to happily, comfortably have the little ones outside of that enclosed space. And I mean, I can't imagine she's too far away. But she's not in the shot. So she must be super comfortable. So they're only just outside. That is on the left there, that is the edge of her inside enclosure. So she could take them back inside quite quickly. They're not too far. They're not too far away from their safe zone. But these little ones, we saw them born live. I think it was sort of 30th, 31st of April. So they're they're about 3 weeks now, but definitely getting more mobile. Still lots and lots of sleep. Young animals, the same as young humans, apparently. Young animals definitely need lots of sleep. People often don't realize, I know, when they bring new puppies home, how much good rest those puppies need. And these young cheetahs, I mean, I know young puppies need somewhere between 18 to 20 hours sleep a day. I would assume these young cheetah are at least as much, and we're probably seeing them mostly sleeping now. Mindy Tillipart, they're so young. You can't really see that fluff along their backs. They seem fluffy everywhere. They're still developing that. It almost looks like this one it's difficult to tell. This one that's facing us might be a little bit bigger, a little bit more developed, but maybe it's just because it's closer to the camera. I'm not sure. Christy, you also thought he had hiccups. I wasn't too sure. It definitely looked like it though, didn't it? So nice to see this little family of cheetah resting so nicely and so comfortably outside. Mufasa is the one with very dark fur expected to keep the same colouring. It could be a king cheetah, possibly. I've only ever seen one king cheetah in the flesh. Maybe, but they change so quickly as their coats develop and as they grow. They grow so quickly from this age. We must watch them closely because we'll blink and all of a sudden they will be bigger. Amberco, you're really enjoying the CA cam with Tammy and her babies. They're adorable and growing up so quickly. They are. and they're going to keep growing rapidly. Um, they're going to change before our very eyes. Their colouring is going to change, their behaviour is going to change. So nice to be a part of that development. Okay, I think let's head over. I think we may have some elephants at Wangi Safari Lodge. Let's leave these little guys to sleep in peace. We can definitely keep a good eye on those little cubbies on camera. Got some baboons there in the background with our Ellies come for a drink. It looks like there might be a bit of overflow there from this water hole. Look, there's more coming in. Now let's see if these elephants that are drinking here make space for these ones that are approaching. Let's watch. Okay, it seems they look at those ones running around in the background. It seems like they seem fairly happy to share. I didn't actually see the order they approached in, so maybe these ones that were already here were part of the same group. I'm not too sure. Maybe they were just a little bit ahead of the rest of the herd. Lots of baboons fanned out there across the back as well. Oh, that was a request for space by the looks of it. And that one that was coming in, maybe she's the mum of one of these little ones that she's touching now. And just using her body language, see how that other bigger female backed away a bit. Bridget McKinney, hello. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to Wangi with some beautiful elephants here. Professor, hello. You're happy to join your first live show. Hopefully your first live show of many. Professor, we are delighted to have you here. Please do join us again. Montenegro, you're asking what is a king cheetah? The most resounding feature I know of a king cheetah is coloration, is coat patterns. It's more, I don't think they're they're not genetically different, but the king cheetah it hasn't quite got stripes. Its dots are more joined together. So it's got more black in its coat. There's relatively clear stripes down its back, but it's a coloration thing. I would imagine it's similar to, maybe it's a slight form of melanism. So melanism is when you see more dark pigment in the coat, you get melanistic birds. So it'll still be a goshawk, same species, but it's a black one instead of a grey one. Minda Telephone looks like a backyard above ground pool. It does, except there's a lot of elephants in it. And look how they're quite spread out here. These elephants, it looks like they're quite comfortable as they move further back there to hang around, spread out across this open area. Look at maybe that's what those elephants were doing a minute ago in the back of the shot there. They were maybe chasing baboons around. Elephants will chase things around. Sometimes, well, often in sort of fun, it's a bit of a game, in my opinion. Other times they're genuinely warding off things from their turf, so to speak. but it's certainly not what I would call aggressive behavior. This elephant has got no real reason to be chasing these baboons around. It's not competition. It's obviously not going to hunt them. It's not competition for breeding rights. Maybe there could be an element of food competition, but those baboons are probably eating tiny little seeds or stuff like that, which elephants might eat, but it's more just a clearing the area thing, in my opinion. Oh, look at that. That's ever so sweet. Elephants do form super close bonds in these breeding herds. So a breeding herd consists of females, adult females, calves. Female calf will stay with that maternal herd, that breeding herd for life normally, unless something very unusual happens, which causes them to break away for some reason. It's not impossible, but it does happen. And then young male elephants will start departing from the family group when they get to maybe books, anything from 10, 12, 15, 18, somewhere around there. When they start to reach sexual maturity, and also when it can also be determined by behavioral changes. So a very non-confrontational, easygoing, chilled, non-bothersome 15, 18-year-old male elephant might still be welcome in the herd, but a really boisterous, annoying, pushy 12-year-old, 13-year-old, it may be suggested that he maybe goes elsewhere. Yeah, that resonated. On Sonegro, yeah, they're amazing looking animals. I've actually seen one in captivity. I did hear a story about king cheetahs have been seen. They've been seen unusual, I think. And you're saying sounds a bit like jaguar coloration. It's not tiger coloration. It's not leopard coloration, and it's not really jaguar coloration. To me, I've often struggled with it. Struggle with it, sort of almost not the difference between jaguar and leopard. Jaguars are much bigger. They've got much stronger jaws. They basically look like really, really bulked up leopards. Big heads, big faces, big shoulders. And geographical, obviously. One of the main differentiating factors between leopards and jaguar is the location. Jaguars have got sort of slightly bigger rosettes, I think. I've never seen a jaguar in real life. I would love to. That's definitely on my list. I think my next big. I tell you what I'd like to hear. Anyone out there, if anyone's been to the Pantanal, please, please, please send in information about the Pantanal. That would be probably my next big trip. I would love to go looking for jaguars and giant anteaters and caimans and all the and massive insects there in the Pantanal. So if anyone's been, please drop us a message. I'd love to hear how it was. Fiber, hello from California, everyone. Having coffee and raisin toast with peanut butter and apricot jam. Love this show. I'm so glad you love the show. Everyone's got some really good food today. I've got quite serious food envy going on. I'm not sure. I think the warm mixed berry muffins have probably been the most alluring. I've got a very sweet tooth. I don't enjoy cooking. I will, but I don't enjoy it. Are these elephants all using? Yeah, I think they're all having a dust bathe now. But yeah, that's what you guys are explaining is my ideal food process. So I'd probably have coffee, raisin toast with peanut butter and apricot jam for breakfast. I would probably have warm mixed berry muffins for lunch. And then blueberry pancakes, maybe with little bit of cream for dinner. That's my ideal diet, not particularly balanced. But I think that is it's my dream food diary, I think. Look at these elephants snuggling up there in that bank. There's obviously some really good dust available there, some good dirt, some good sand. You'll often see elephants after they've had cover themselves in mud. They will be dusting themselves, but they will often use their foot if the texture of the dust isn't quite right. You will see them kick, 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 kick to loosen up that dust. I think I've just had a very reliable update that Tammy may have arrived back with those little fluff balls. I would love to see some little interactions going on there. So maybe we'll um, go across to Tammy. Look, she's doing a little bit of maintenance on those cubbies there. Are you going to leave again now, girlie? See, she's not far though. She's not far away. She's coming. She's checking. Oh, look, she's just been laying there the whole time. But also nice that she's given herself a break. She knows they're there. She knows they're safe. But just give me a minute. Give me a minute, little ones. Such a good mum, Tammy is. Jack de Boer, you should go to Brazil in the Amazon rainforest. Um, I think the Pantanal is part of Brazil. I'm not sure if it's a Pantanal rainforest. I think it is. I did look at going to the Amazon rainforest years ago, and I actually discovered that the rainforests of Borneo are actually older, and the route to the Amazon was terrible from where I was, so I went to Borneo instead. Oh, Bridget McKinney, is there giant otters there as well? I don't really know much about the nature in the Pantanal, but I know it excites me because I wouldn't know what I was looking at all, and I really, really enjoy that. Um, Once Negro, sorry, yes, ocelot. I think that is closer. Stripes mixed with spots. I think that is closer to a king cheetah, to a king cheetah coat. Ocelot, see, ocelots are cool. There's so much amazing nature out there that I want to explore. Um, but yeah, I think I got as far as working out that there's like a northern side of the Pantanal. Ah, look at this little one. You're gonna come to mum. How mobile are you, little guy? Ah, look, stretch. They're getting so much. Oh, where's he going? Go on, mum, go get him. See how attentive she is. See, he was thinking about wandering off. She was like, "Mm-mm." She has put them in the least accessible spot for us. Mind that hole. These little ones are going to start. They're going to start very soon if they haven't already, showing personalities. And there's almost always one that's the most likely to get in trouble in litters of most animals, actually. Did you see that glare? Stay there, don't move. Ah, look how developed those little teardrops are under their eyes. Where are you going? Can they get up there yet? Let's see. Oh my goodness. How cute are they? I want to see if one of them's. Are you going to try and get up there? Oh, oh. Yes, I do believe one of these cubbies has got something wrong with its. Oh, it's that little one there. See. That little one that's just looked at the camera, so not the wobbly one, the one that's still stationary. HESC are aware of this problem with this little cubby's left eye. I'm not sure what they would do. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but they are monitoring it and they are very aware of it. This little one with a left eye, jive bunny. I went to Sabah. You went to the rainforest as well for the orangutans. I also went to Sabah. Jive bunny, is that the Sabah? Is that where the orangutan orphanage is? I found a different orangutan when I was in Borneo. I think she was called Annie, and I'll tell the story very quickly because we're looking at these little cheetahs, not talking about orangutans. And I went to, it was a butterfly reserve or something, and I wandered off into the jungle as you would expect me to. And then as I was coming back, someone said, "Oh, orangutan, orangutan." I was like, "Oh, where?" They said, "Over there in a cage." And I said, "Oh, I don't want to see an orangutan in a cage." And I walked past and there was an orangutan sat behind like a metal fence. And I was like, "Oh no, I don't like that." And then as I was leaving, someone turned up and they said, "Oh, are you leaving?" I said, "Yeah, I don't want to see animals in cages." And they said, "Oh no, she's not in a cage." Isn't she? He said, "No, man." And he was a guide from Borneo. And as he pulled up, he called her. And she stood up and walked around the edge of the wire. And it was just a piece of like wire fencing, not a cage at all. It was just one piece of fencing. And he had actually rescued this orangutan from a fire when she was young. And he'd reared 3 of them. And they gradually made their way back out into the jungles. And she would come back sometimes because she enjoyed sitting behind the fence because that's where she was raised. She was raised in a enclosure there, but she was completely free roaming. And I actually took this guy's contact details, and he gave her, I think it was papayas, but not sort of to her hands. He said, "You know, you can give her them, but don't look at her, don't move suddenly." And I've got some amazing pictures of me sitting next to this proper wild orangutan on the floor in a car park somewhere in Borneo. An amazing experience. And I took his details, and I'm actually still in touch with him on Facebook. And she doesn't come back anymore. So yeah, definitely worth visiting. These elephants here at Wangi are still having a lovely dust bath here. Mufasa, you've read somewhere that they're starting a conservation project to bring back cheetah to the Arabian Peninsula. Is there a difference between those and the ones in Africa? Mufasa, honestly, I don't know. I'm sure there would probably be, whether or not it would be a complete subspecies. Hold on, let me think logically. I don't know. I know there's different species of leopard. I think 7 or 9 different species or subspecies of leopards. So snow leopards and Indochina leopards and various things like that. So I'm gonna say possibly. That was a very non-committal answer, Mufasa. You will get used to my very non-committal answers on this show because it's so difficult to keep up with research. Whether or not they would repopulate that area with so I was looking at an elephant with cheetahs that originated from that area. I know cheetah genetics and dynamics can be quite tricky. They can be quite complex, and it's one of the a fairly big problem in cheetah numbers and cheetah conservation. Millions of years ago, apparently cheetah went through a bottleneck in history, and it was reduced to very low numbers of animals. And as a result, their DNA structure was all very similar. And as we know, inbreeding can cause problems in the animal kingdom. So conservationists today have to be quite careful as to which cheetah go where, because they need to maintain genetic diversity to ensure the healthy reproductive abilities of the species in an area. So whether or not, I would assume cheetah from the only cheetah that should go back to the Arabian Peninsula should probably be cheetah that came from there. I don't know whether or not that is technically a subspecies of cheetah, and if it is, whether or not there's any left. I would have to do more reading than that to answer with any formality, Mufasa. Jive Bunny, such sad story. There are seriously sad stories about those orangutans. But as with so many places over the world, around the world, awareness is improving, and conservation efforts are being made. But I really enjoyed Borneo. I actually went to Borneo not long after I finished my initial guide training many years ago before I moved here full time. I took unpaid leave from my last UK job and I did training, and I spent sort of 4 or 5 months in Africa, and then I had a bit left. So I headed on out to Borneo. I think that's a great idea. Baboons at the hide in Wangi. I do enjoy watching baboons. I would love to go and have a look at some baboons and hide in Wangi. Tiny little one. Ah, look at that little one. I couldn't work out what that was. That young one at the front there, looking quite pale, having a jolly good scratch there. Sounds like a noisy goose. Ah, look at that tiny one playing. It's almost getting to that time of the day. It's winter here now in South Africa. We are, yeah, June, July, August, very close to winter, and it's dark here now by 6 o'clock. It's still 29 degrees today in our winter, but it's getting dark early now, and these baboons probably in the next 40 minutes, I would guess, are going to start slowly making their way. Oh, where did they go? There they are, they're back. They're going to slowly start making their way to wherever they roost. Baboons will normally roost off the ground. They will roost in sort of on cliffs, or often in big trees. A very popular roosting place for baboons is in big trees along nice big river lines. There was a troop that used to roost in a huge sycamore fig tree on the banks of the river close to the lodge where I used to work. And I loved doing it. It was if you got out at the right time, and just as the light was starting to pop through the branches of the tree, these baboons would start getting up, and they have discussions in the mornings. Hey, there's bickering and who's been doing what overnight, and they will often get up, especially when it's a bit cooler in the winter, and turn their backs to the east where the rising sun is, to warm themselves up after a chilly night. And believe it or not, okay, people, if you're watching from Sweden or something, then I'm going to sound ridiculous saying this, but it does get chilly here in winter. It gets colder, much colder than I expected it to when I first moved here. I moved here at the start of summer, so it wasn't too bad, but I was stunned, and it doesn't get much past about like 5 degrees in the middle of the night. Here is really cold. It's really quite cold. It's normally sort of 7, 8, somewhere around there, 7. But if you're driving in an open vehicle at 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:30 in the morning, that's fresh. And the animals here aren't, they can survive it, but that's fresh. To see this little guy that's climbing here, 5 degrees, sleeping all night, is fresh, and they would often get up and turn their backs to the sun. And I remember that fig tree very clearly, and the light would be beautiful, just rising behind that big fig tree. Is that a little bushbuck? I haven't seen a bushbuck for a long time. We do sometimes see bushbuck down close to the river in thicket areas here, but they're not super common. Also, if oh, they're beautiful actually. Look how pretty those bushbuck are. Gorgeous white legs, dots and stripes. And look how relaxed these two species are together. So baboons, those bushbuck weren't even looking at those baboons. Bushbuck, young impala. I've never seen it, but I've seen clips of it, and I know people that have seen it. Large baboons will hunt lots of things, and they will certainly hunt a small antelope. Look at this guy sat there, like sat in the middle there. I love it when they sit like this. And I watched it once. Often at this time of day, especially, there's normally a sentry. Oh, hello, hippo. Who's watching who? So there'll be a lookout. One baboon, it's their job. They're not messing about with food. They're not messing about with anything else. It's very important they act as lookout. I think this is maybe this baboon's job. I would probably be, maybe there's someone already facing the other way. And I know. Did you see that? That was almost like that bushbuck semi-acknowledged that baboon. Got Moto, the hippo, who just gave that baboon a bit of a glance. But they'll have a lookout, but also a timekeeper this time of day. And I watched it happen once. It wasn't a big adult baboon, which may have been foolish. I would have only entrusted the very important job to an adult, I thought. But just as the sun was setting, all the others were feeding, grooming, feeding and moving around. And then all of a sudden, the sentry didn't make a noise, didn't make a big song and dance out of everything, just got up and started walking. And within a minute, all the other baboons had started following, and it was bedtime. And Mr. Timekeeper got up. He was obviously keeping an eye on the time because they want to be up off the floor there before it's dark, because it's dangerous on the floor when it's dark. So off they went. So dual purpose, timekeeper. There's some doves down there, maybe. Not sure what sort of doves they are. Are they all doves? On Negro. Very interesting coat on those bushbuck. They're often found in thicket riverine areas, and often coat patterns are linked to camouflage. And those spots could be mimicking the dapples of light that might land on their coats through the trees. And those stripes, riverine branches. Riverine branches sort of cross patterns, so that's why there's spots and stripes. Another, and look at all these doves. These doves are often active, more active dawn and dusk. These doves are one of the only species of birds that you will also see sometimes active during the heat of the day. Doves, look at that. That is brilliant. And look, we're getting a nice look again there on Negro at those bushbucks coats. What is exact? Which way up is that? Oh, that's a back leg in the air. Wow, that's intimate and very relaxed. That baboon. So this grooming is common in lots of animals, maybe not quite to this extent, but look. It's very important work. And it's not, some people have the misnomer that it's only ever subordinate or younger or younger animals. Corey, thank you. Yeah, I thought they were all doves. Cape turtle doves, I think they're called, they've changed their names again. But there's another dove with a ring around its neck, and I'm always just very careful about bird IDs on this camera because you can't always see the colours and stuff you need to see. But look at this grooming style. Look at that hand. Look. Oh, tough life. People often think that it's only younger or, or less. What's that noise? I'm assuming it's a baboon, but it's quite an unusual sound for a baboon. Strange noise. It's a family activity. So older baboons will groom younger ones and vice versa, and younger ones will groom each other. It's all communication, it's all forming family bonds, it's all developing relation. I can't work out. I don't know. It's all developing relationships between a troop. So that grooming of each other is very, very common. I'm not convinced that is a baboon. That is. No, it's not a baboon. That's a franklin. Come on, team. We've got 3 minutes left. What's making that noise? That's a baboon. That's a goose. That baboon's like, let me know if I need to get up. Excuse me. If that was a baboon, that was a very strange sound that I've never heard a baboon make before. And look at the geese having an afternoon bathe in their pool there. Super. Our timekeeper stroke watchman is still sat there with the moto. So much activity around this ward. See, there's a younger one grooming an older one there. Much grooming and bonding before bedtime. Everyone's, it's like having a good chat before bed, really. Everyone knows where everyone stands. I was going to go over there and get involved. Oh no, having a good groom before they head off for bed for the evening. Lots of activity here at this, and I assume many other water points or pans this time of day. There is a reason when we do game drives that we have to drag everyone out of bed at ungodly hours of the morning, and also why we go out on afternoon drives when we do, because this is when there's often lots of activity at the time of day changeovers. We always get lots and lots happening. The baboons are one of my very, very favourite things to watch, so I enjoyed that immensely. Thank you all so much for enjoying it with me. Unfortunately, we have run out. Just let the there's also goose discussions as well. But we have run out of time, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do join us again. And we hope to see you again very, very soon on the Africam show. My name's Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.